anniversary. This YouTube channel has turned 1 year. So today we will celebrate and recap what has happened during the year. I have the shirt, the braces, and Weihen Stefane Weissbier, all of them a part of the beginning of the channel. So we are going to talk about me behind the scenes, my beer background and my YouTube background, what the goal was with this channel, and some highlights during the year, and then also some statistics, how much I've earned, for instance, and then of course my plans going forward. This might actually be the first time I've managed to pour this beer in one go. It looks and smells amazing. Here is to 1 year of YouTube adventures. Prost, cheers, skål. So, who is Swedish Beer Guy? Well, my name is Daniel, or Daniel as we say in Sweden. I'm middle-aged, believe it or not, closing in on 50 years. I still have a few years left though. I live in Stockholm, the capital of Sweden, but I was born and raised in or outside of Gothenburg on the west coast of Sweden. So my heart belongs to both. My main profession is musician, really, but I have a lot of other jobs as well. I've never really been a full-time musician, and somehow I think that fits me. You never really get bored at either job, and they can kind of inspire each other. So YouTube is actually one of the part-time jobs, but a pretty small percentage income-wise so far. But we will talk more about my YouTube channels later. So my first memories of beer are that it smelled nasty. I think I found old beer cans, and if you spill it on your clothes, it kind of smells bad, you know. I also remember in my teens, people that were a few years older than me. I was never interested in their activities, drinking beer and so on. But it changed when I was around 18, 19. I was traveling with an orchestra. In Sweden we have something called music school, or nowadays the School of Culture. There might be some proper official name for it, but it's a kind of music school you go to on your free time. And the whole orchestra went to Prague, and there I sat in the sun in one of those beer gardens, and I think I had a Kosel, and everything was just so perfect. And at least in my memory it tasted divine. I think whichever brand I would have had back then, I would have liked it just as much. It's the perfect environment and the beer is very fresh. So that is probably my first favorite beer memory. And when I try to go through these memories, I realize that all the times I've got them, they have been surprises. But that's often the case with anything, right? If you have low expectations or no expectations, and then you experience something amazing, it's doubled the experience somehow. If someone tells you, you have to try this beer, it's the best I've ever tasted, your expectations are already set so high, so maybe the experience can't reach, the top. Anyway, my second favorite beer memory is when I took a flight to Düsseldorf in Germany. We were only halfway to the final destination in Spain, but we had to change flights there. And it's probably something doing with the air so high up and the special food and drinks you have on airplanes. But as soon as we landed, we went to an airport pub, and I'm still cursing me to this day that I didn't take a picture of the tap, because I can't remember the brand. But it was a German Pils, and it tasted so amazing. Probably also the contrast and the no expectation for the taste. But yeah, that memory has really stuck in my mind. Speaking of, Prost. The third favorite beer memory was actually not too long ago. In Gothenburg there is a brewery called Poppels. They have their main brewery outside of Gothenburg and kind of a smaller city brewery inside of Gothenburg. And that's where I went with some friends and we tried their house Pilsner, which is the only beer they actually make in that brewery. Everything else is shipped from their main brewery, and they do something with that Pilsner. It's aged in some sort of barrels, oak barrels maybe, and it was so sweet and round, a bit like sweet apples and honey. I know it doesn't sound very appealing, right? But it was amazing. They have even special tables where you can have your own tap. So instead of ordering more beer, you just tap it yourself. Very dangerous. So when I think about it, all my 3 favorite beer memories are actually Pilsners. Moving on now to my YouTube background, because this is not my first YouTube channel. My first one was a bit more casual. I uploaded some music, some arrangements I've made, more like a show reel, like a website, you know, just so you easily can link some of your work. Then in 2014, I got hooked in an unhealthy way in the game Minecraft. Oh man, I played it day and night, and eventually I felt to move on I needed to share my world somehow. And I've watched other Minecraft YouTubers, so I decided to start my own channel. And that was my first experience coming into a small YouTuber niche. In some ways, it's actually pretty similar to the small BeerTuber community. You know, you get interested in other small creators, and sometimes it feels like it's mostly the YouTubers watching each other. And then after a few years, I got more interested in how YouTube works. What is the algorithm? How is YouTube recommending videos? And I started listening to podcasts and videos about, YouTube advice, best practices. I have consumed thousands of episodes on this subject. And then I started to make some changes to my Minecraft videos. And I'm not as active on that channel today, but I have at least 2 videos over 1 million views. So I started to do something right. And then during the pandemic, I decided to start another channel. This was about playing the trombone, and especially jazz trombone, improvisation, things like that. Trombone is the instrument I play professionally. And this time, my role was more that of a teacher. Both Minecraft and beer, it's like anyone can make videos, right? You need a beer and a camera, or the game Minecraft and a screen recorder. And there you have your channel. But being a trombone teacher, you have to have years of experience. So there I felt a shift in the roles, and it wasn't the same kind of passion project. The trombone channel actually feels a little bit more like work. So there I teach people about the trombone and give them tools, exercises to better improvise in a jazz environment. I also started to sell these exercises as PDFs, and people actually bought them, so that was a nice side income. Now that channel is also a bit on hold. It's hard to find the time for more than one YouTube channel at the time, I think. But I still upload clips from performances and things like that. And then a year ago I started this channel, Swedish Beer Guy. And this was again a passion project. And you know that feeling when you are new to something, you want to learn more, kind of dissect everything. I got especially interested in how to put words on how the beer smelled and tasted. I remember seeing one of those blind tasting videos from the craft beer channel. I can't remember which one specifically, but it was macro beers, and I was fascinated how he could find those differences in regular macro beers. So then I decided the main focus of the channel would be to compare beers to each other, because I have always felt comparing things are the best way to learn. And I don't know if some of you remember, but this channel had another name from the beginning. You can still see it on one of my first shorts. It was called Beer versus Beer. But then the name felt a bit boring and not memorable. I had a suggestion from a colleague. Name the channel To Beer or Not To Beer. I like that name, but it's also not that memorable. Feel free to use that suggestion. So then when I looked around YouTube, there wasn't really a Swedish channel with an English audience. There is one home brewer, Dr. Hans or something, and then Rampant Lion Reviews lived in Sweden for a while. He is from Scotland, but other than that, there was no one. So I thought, yeah, why not Swedish Beer Guy? It just has a nice ring, easy to remember, and you also kind of understand that I am an amateur, not a professional. I noticed, especially in the beginning, that I still kind of played this teacher role, and that's embarrassing because sometimes I say things wrong. The pronunciation is wrong, maybe the geography isn't correct. So I try to not give the impression I am a professional or a teacher. I'm an amateur and I'm learning along the way. But because I'm forcing myself to put into words what I can smell and what I can taste, I do improve. I can see that myself, and also other people kind of see me as a professional because of it, but I'm not. So back to this shirt, the braces, and this beer. I actually did a lot of research before filming my first video. I saw that there weren't many videos where you compared beers, especially not German Weissbiers, and especially not with the correct glasses. I do cringe a bit when I try to watch that first video, which is still my most popular video on the channel, but I'm also proud of it. I bring these different bottles and show them to the camera. I have a pretzel, which I will eat later. And I really made an effort to bring something different to the table. And it took maybe a month or so, and then it really started to take off. So around half of my current subscribers come from that first video. So chances are you first met me in that video. Another thing you might notice when you compare my videos to most other BeerTube videos is that it is heavily edited. It's not loud, it's not fast, it's not a lot of effects, but there are a lot of cuts. And that is mainly because English is not my first language. I mess up words, I need to stop and think how to word certain sentences. Some phrases I remake maybe 4 or 5 times, but it's also because I like not having too much dead space. I don't want to waste anyone's time. That being said though, I really respect the people who can upload unedited videos and still make it interesting. I could never do that. It would be unbearable to watch. What I'm struggling a bit with now is that because I have an international audience, videos with Swedish beer specifically get very low views, and I can see it's mostly a Swedish audience watching those videos. It's much more fun watching a video about the beer you can purchase yourself, right? So in one way, this is my strength. I can drink and show beers no one else in the world can get their hands on, but at the same time, people don't really care about those beers. unless maybe I make videos for tourists, don't miss these beers when you're visiting Sweden or something like that. But I also really enjoy comparing beers that are widely available, especially right now the German ones. So let's talk about some highlights from the YouTube channel this year. The first one, obviously my first video. It's now called Comparing 4 Popular German Wheat Beers, I think. But when I first posted it, it had another name. I think the title was The Best German Wheat Beer. And everyone wants to know which the best beer is, right? But at the same time, people got upset. You can't just compare 4 commercial beers. And that's true, and that's why I eventually changed the title. But that original kind of clickbaity title was also the reason, I think, it got so popular and still is the video that brings in the most views from week to week. And it was so nice to get in contact with people all around the world and also other BeerTubers that discovered my channel from that video. And it also, of course, boosted my following videos. And then the views dropped video for video. So in one way, I haven't been able to replicate the success. And it's always sad to have been on the top and now you are down here again. But if you think about this is my first year, I'm still happy with the views I get now. I also got monetized in May so that I could make money from ads. So I did that in 9 months and that's pretty good, right? Of course, mostly thanks to my first video. So what about the strange intro and outro? The intro was actually again a suggestion from a colleague. I just casually strolled along at my workplace, you know, like this. And he said, "You need to use that as an intro. That will be so strange." And I thought, why not? It's different. And yeah, I've just kept it ever since. Then in the outro, I had an idea that I would kind of sound a bit drunk. You know, saying drink responsibly, but then you're not drinking responsibly. Kind of sounded funny to me. But in my first video, you know, the popular one, I tried to do it the Swedish way. If you change the S's to sh, it sounds like you are drunk in Swedish. Du ska inte dricka så mycket. But if you do it in English, it just turns into Scottish. Drink responsibly, moneypenny. So in the following videos, I changed it to that strange drink. I just wanted to do something strange and unexpected. But now, of course, it has become a ritual. So some more highlights from the channel, except for that first video and all the people I got in contact with. Thanks to that. We have the videos with my friend Anna. We studied music together a long time ago, and then I was a part of her band. But then almost 10 years passed with us having almost no contact. But then she moved up here to Stockholm, and I thought, beer could be a great way to reconnect. And that has been so much fun. Also, a viewer from the Netherlands, Thierry, reached out and wanted to send beers. That has also been really interesting, to drink beer I wouldn't have access to otherwise. I still have a few in the fridge, which I will make a video about them when the weather is colder and darker. And then, of course, I've learned so much about beer. I have challenged myself and you have challenged me. And the more I learn, the more I appreciate the good beers. Unfortunately, some of the bad macro lagers, I can't enjoy them anymore because I know why they are not good. But with snacks or food, they are okay. So let's have a look at some statistics. During the first year, I made 39 long-form videos and 5 shorts. I got 99.1 thousand total views, 81.4 thousand from long-form videos and 17.8 thousand views from shorts. What YouTube paid me this year, so starting in late May, was 380 Swedish crowns, which is 37 US dollars, 34 euros, or 28 pound sterling. So not a lot, but at least a bit of money to buy more beer. Most people watch my videos on their phone, then computer, TV, and lastly tablet. What's in it for the future? Well, I will continue in pretty much the same style, but will be a bit more particular of which videos I will make. I have an exciting blindfold coming up, for instance, a real one with the blindfold. I also want to continue exploring popular beers, but the ones I really enjoy myself, because it's nice with a lot of views, and when you put a lot of effort into a video, it's so much more fun if it can spread to more people. So I think either high effort, really exciting videos, or more fast and easy videos like beer battles where you only have 2 beers, maybe less of exploring 8 Swedish Easter beers, because that's not interesting to most of you and it takes so much time to edit those long videos. If you are Swedish and enjoy those videos, I'm sorry, but maybe those kind of videos are better for Swedish speaking channels. But all in all, I have really enjoyed this first year and I'm really looking forward to the next one. Prost, cheers, skål. YouTube wants you to check out this video next. Thank you for watching and remember, drink responsibly.